look who's back from the fucking dead. Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome back to whatever the fuck this is. I know I've been gone for so fucking long, but I'm back. I never did a May wrap up. That's because I feel like I barely read anything. And so today we're going to do a both May and June reading wrap up, aka every single book I read in the past 2 months. I've been gone for a while. I feel like I've been in like a reading slump, to be honest. I feel like I'm just coming out of it now. But also just like update, I went to see SZA in concert. It was incredible. Not only did I like see her perform, I also met her. Guys, I'm sorry, the way that like every single person in like the romance book community feels about Taylor Swift, I feel about SZA. So that's where I've been. Anyways, enough about that. Let's actually get onto the books that I read, starting off with all the ones I read in May. So the first book I read in May was called Rogue, and it's by Elle Kennedy. It's book 2 in her little like prep series that she's got going on. I gave this book 4 stars because honestly it is good, but like it was nowhere near as good as Misfit. Misfit was so good. I was obsessed with the story. I was like in it. Rogue was such a letdown in my opinion. Honestly, I'm contemplating giving it 3 stars now. Like I don't even remember that much that happened. It's a lot more plot focused than the romance. I honestly think the romance wasn't even that good in this book, but the plot is what kept me interested. But even then, like thinking back to the like plot of this book, it wasn't even that good. I gave it 4 stars though, so in the moment I really liked it. I can't really explain anything about it because you have to read Misfit before. You have to read them in order, so I can't really tell you much about this. I finally finished Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. Firstly, it took me ages to read this book. Look at how long it is. It's absolutely huge. It's absolutely incredible. So far, it's my favourite book in the Boys of Tom and series. This is book 3, by the way. This book is like leaps and bounds better than Binding and Keeping, in my opinion. It is. It's so good. I haven't read Redeeming Six yet. It's just following Joey and Aoife all the way from when they were literally like, I don't know, how old are you when you start secondary school? Like 11? All the way up to like when they're 18. It ends on a cliffhanger, and so I do need to read the next book to keep reading their story, but this was absolutely incredible. I was obsessed. A lot of trigger warnings, so definitely research it before going into it. But, like, I recommend this book to anyone who's interested. The size scares me as well. That's why I haven't read Redeeming Six yet, because it's too long. It's worth it. It's so good. Also, let's talk about the fact that it's got picked up by publisher. It's getting new covers, which give me Colleen Hoover vibes. They look like Colleen Hoover covers. Not saying that's a compliment, not saying it's not a compliment. I'm just stating an observation. But also because it's been picked up by publisher, they're all going to be different sizes, and now my editions won't match because we're not having any more indies. So that's fun. I'm not buying the new covers. I'm not. I already have 4 of the indie versions. I guess I just have an incomplete series. Whilst we're on the topic, Magnolia Parks covers, they look absolutely horrendous. They look so bad. It looks like someone with a foot fetish has like made them. No, they look horrendous. But apparently we're still getting indie versions in the like Jess's version covers, so like I don't care. I just want to point out I think they look absolutely horrendous, and when I first saw them I genuinely laughed because I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like a fan edit, and I was like, girl, this looks shit. No. These are going to be real covers and they look so bad. Anyways, after Saving Six, I read Football Royalty by Eden Finlay. This is the final book in the Franklin Yu series. I've literally been reading this series since last summer, but I finally finished it. Couldn't tell you a single thing about it. Apart from, I'll tell you now, I gave it 3 stars. I didn't like it because, so one of the main characters, the guy who is like the football player, his parents are characters from one of Eden Finlay's previous books, like in one of her like other series. I never read the book that they're from, so like it meant nothing to me. But like you can tell that this book was written with people who read that other book in mind, because the 2 like dads in this book were just constantly in it, constantly meddling in like everything and just being really annoying. But I'm sure that like if I read the book that they were in, I'd find it endearing, but I just found it really annoying, and I'm like, why are you inserting yourself into everything? Why can't we just have this book about the actual couple and just them like finding love and like being together? But no, I've got these 2 parents like constantly in it. It's constantly being shoehorned in for the sake of Easter eggs. It was so annoying, and that's why I didn't like this book. But apart from that, like, it was fine. It's about like these 2 boys who at like an end of high school party have like a one night stand thing, and then they go to separate universities, and then one of them ends up transferring to Franklin U. The other one was already at Franklin U, and then they just like rekindle whatever they had. That's basically like the cliff notes of it. It was fine apart from what I just mentioned. I've got nothing else. So after that, you can probably tell because this stack is incomplete, but after I read Football Royalty, I reread Addicted to You and Ricochet by Chris Rebecca Ritchie. Why? Because I have a video planned that I want to make that includes both of these books. I want it to happen. It's just going to be a really long video, and it's going to take me ages to edit. I didn't even annotate this one. This book has been annotated from the first time. I never annotated the rest of the books in the series, but I couldn't even be asked annotating this second one. So whoops about that. Maybe on the third reread I'll annotate them. Anyways, yeah, I love both of these books. This is a 5-star read. This is 4 stars, same as my original ratings. If you've never read the Addicted series, this is your sign if you've been interested in it. Look up trigger warnings though. These books are just so good. This is literally the best series ever written, in my opinion. It is my favourite, and honestly these two books don't do it justice. I understand the frustration of being like, wait until you're halfway through book 3, but wait until you're halfway through book 3 before you stop reading, okay? The best book is Kiss the Sky. If you can make it to Kiss the Sky, it's history from there because it's just incredible. Oh my god, just seeing like the origins of Lily and Lone, all of these other characters and how they come into the story. No, this was incredible. I love the first book. I was hooked from the first book because it's so good, but I understand why some people wouldn't be, because you don't get to the main plot until Addicted for Now. I had so much fun rereading these. It's just like, it was amazing. I got so many memories from when I first read the series. This is the final book I read in May. It was Cruel Prince by AJ. Look, I get it. Look at this cover. Oh my god, what if I told you I kind of don't even mind it? I love the spine. It's a beautiful blue colour. Anyways, this book, I gave this book 4 stars. It was so good. Walk with me. I was craving some sort of like high school enemies to lovers romance at the time when I read it, and so like this was perfect for me. I couldn't get enough. This book follows Dylan and Jace. They were like childhood friends back in the day, and then something happens. The girl Dylan ends up moving away, and then a couple of years later she has to come back because of reasons that you find out in the book. She has to move back to wherever the fuck this book's set in. I have no idea, but she has to go back to Royal Hearts Academy private school. Jace never left. He's still at Royal Hearts Academy. He absolutely despises Dylan. It's a dual POV book, but it's mainly Dylan's perspective, and she's just like, why the does he hate me so much? Like, what the hell's going on? And there's like this overarching thing in the book that we're like trying to figure out. This was so dramatic. That's what I love about high school bully romances. Like, when it's like this is a bully romance, and I understand that it's not for everyone. I love the dramatics of it all. It is pretty immature though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, but they are like 18 years old. Childish, pathetic, petty, but I loved it. The next 3 books I read are all part of a series. These are all books that I read in June now. So I read the first 3 books in the Salacious Player series by Sarah Kay. So the first one's called Praise. I know the guy's called Emerson. I don't know who the girl is, but I did like this book actually. I gave it 4 stars. It was actually pretty good. This entire series is centered around like a club. The guy in this book is like a dominant and wants a submissive, and then the girl in this book has a praise king. It's like a billionaire romance. It's also X's dad. How could I forget? Yeah, I can't be asked to explain the actual plot of the book. I'm sorry about it. The next book's called Eyes on Me. The girl in this book is a cam girl. The guy in this book obviously is part owner of this club. It's also a step-sibling romance. Book 3 is called Give Me More. I hated this book. I gave it 2 stars. I think this has just taught me I don't like poly romances in books. But this is about a married couple, and the guy in this book has like a kink of watching his wife get off with other people, and so he like wants to like bring someone that they trust to like get off with his wife so that he can be like turned on. And so they ask their best friend, and he's like, oh my god, no, like I'm not breaking up your relationship. Oh my god, this is like not giving. And then he was like, no, like honey, like you're doing me a favor, like you're helping me out here. And then they all end up falling in love, and it's an MMF. It was really boring. 2 stars. Move on. Foolish Book Boy by Eden Finley Saxon James. 4th book in the Book Boy series. I love this series with my whole heart. I've been in a reading slump this whole time since I started Praise. That's why I think I didn't like Foolish Book Boy as much. It took me ages to read the first 50%, and it's only like a 250-page book. So it took me ages to get through the first half. I read the second half in a day. Do with that as you will. So Alex is a professional ice hockey player. He's just been transferred to Seattle, and Gabe is a firefighter. Alex have like a house party at his house. They end up like starting a fire somewhere, and so one of them ends up calling the firefighters. Gabe is the firefighter. He ends up coming. Alex is drunk as shit. Everyone thinks that Gabe is like a stripper because he's like dressed as a firefighter. You know, so it's like a little bit embarrassing for them. Gabe ends up finding it funny and ends up coming back to the house the next day to make sure that they didn't burn the place down. It is actually very good. I can't remember what I gave Shameless, but if I gave Shameless 4 stars, I'm bumping it down to 3 because on recollection it wasn't as good. Final book that I read in June was Ivy by Will and Ash. I'm going to be so honest with you, this book is not giving at all. I was so excited to get into this book. Every time it's been described, they always say it's like giving like kind of like Pretty Little Liars vibes, right? On the cover, it's even giving Pretty Little Liars vibes. We've got like the lips with the shush on it. Then here it says, whisper your confessions in our ear, we promise not to tell. Let me tell you my issues with this book though. Number 1, it's in 3rd person. I've read 3rd person books. Red, White and Royal Blue is one of my favourite books of all time. This book would have been so much better if it was in 1st, okay? This book is really long, and I feel like nothing happened until the last 30%. I feel like Magnolia Parks doesn't really have a plot. It's very much just like slice of life stuff. I adore those books with my entire heart. It didn't work with this one, especially because like this book gives the vibes that there would be a plot. It didn't really go anywhere until the last 30% when like all hit the fan, and I loved that part, and that's why I gave this book 3 stars and not 2. And then I'm going on Goodreads looking at all the reviews, and everyone's saying that they were hooked from chapter 1. What is there to be hooked by? I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm being harsh. Maybe it's because I'm in like this slump and I'm just really frustrated that I'm not finding books that I'm enjoying. But like, this was not giving. This was not giving what everyone on Goodreads is saying. Am I the problem? I don't get it. That's it. That's everything I read in May and June. So I hope you guys will enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below if you read any of these books I mentioned, subscribe if you like romance books. I'll see you next month for the July wrap up. See ya. Bye. Peace out.